Pennsylvania Congressman Scott Perry. He serves on the House Oversight and Foreign Affairs Committees, and we sure appreciate you joining us this morning. I'd like to start with getting your reaction to a statement from Louisiana Senator John Kennedy. He's not one to mince words.
Right.
This is what he said in response to a potential probe into that shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. He said, quote, "I just happen to think it's, for the most part, it's a waste of time. Security held, the guy didn't get through, wasn't even close." What do you think?
Well, good morning, Edie and John. Look, I appreciate Senator Kennedy's sentiment, but I talked to the director of the Secret Service yesterday and asked him, or posed the question, okay, this is one individual, no criminal history, traveled across the country, essentially a teacher and a novice in tactics and kind of kinetic activity. What would have happened had somebody like the government of Iran that staged 3 or 4 individuals with the knowledge and the expertise and the equipment to facilitate a much larger attack? And you can picture the scene: a satchel charge or several pipe bombs early in the attack to neutralize the Secret Service, and then follow on heavy attack from other individuals storming into the area. How far would that have gotten? How devastating would that be? And look, it's a tough job. We're grateful that everybody is safe, but you got to be prepared for all scenarios. And I think that obviously with the multiple attempts on President Trump's life, the Supreme Court, Steve Scalise, the political environment is unfortunately very violent right now.
Yeah, we've got to step it up, I think. You know.
Yeah, and one of the concerning things, Congressman, was that this guy even talked about checking in. I believe it was the night before, and that there was not a lot of security. So at the very least, there should be questions about who was being basically looked into, if anybody. I don't know what the process is. People at the hotel, if there was any, pre-advanced security screenings of some of those guests. But that said, at the most recent White House press briefing, I want to get your thoughts about this. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt implied that the manifesto of the alleged shooter, as I was talking about, paralleled many of the anti-Trump talking points from critics of the president. I want to play the soundbite and then get your reaction.
Nobody in recent years has faced more bullets and more violence than President Trump. This political violence stems from a systemic demonization of him and his supporters by commentators, yes, by elected members of the Democrat Party, and even some in the media. Those who constantly falsely label and slander the president as a fascist, as a threat to democracy, and compare him to Hitler to score political points are fueling this kind of violence.
So to your point, Edie, to your point, Congressman, about the tense political climate, how much responsibility should Democrats and legacy media bear, if at all, for inspiring the actions, if that was the case, of the alleged shooter?
Well, I certainly think they're 100% responsible for their comments and referring to the president as Hitler or Hitlerian or Hitler-like, as a pedophile, as a rapist, all those kind of things. Look, it appears to me that this guy thought he was going to be a hero. And a lot of people would be, anybody would have been a hero if they had been able to take Hitler out. He was responsible for the murder of millions of people. And so these people think that these attackers, these assassins think they're doing the right thing based on this rhetoric, which is completely unfounded. It's hyperbolic. It is dangerous. It is violent. And they should be held responsible. They are responsible for the things that they say. We all are.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.